During a fight with my girlfriend, I saw a message pop up from her so-called guy bestie. So he really got mad just because I kissed you during a game of truth or dare. Guys like him are just for fun. Don't take it seriously. Later, when I got engaged to someone else, she came to me, eyes red with tears, demanding an explanation. I smiled and said, "We were just having fun, weren't we? Don't take it seriously." On Jessica Miller's birthday, she wore a sexy outfit but refused to let me drive her to the bar. I glanced at her bare back and softly asked, "Is it Jason Smith again?" Her hand froze mid-swipe with the lipstick. She sounded annoyed. "Can you not obsess over Jason all the time? I've told you we're just friends!" See? She knew I couldn't stand Jason, but she never stopped to reflect. She always made it sound like I was overreacting. I didn't respond. Jessica seemed to realize she'd been a little harsh and softened her tone. "Don't overthink it. I didn't bring you along because of our different circles. Didn't you say you didn't like my friends either? I'll be home before midnight. Then we'll celebrate just the two of us. Be good. Wait for me at home." She said that as she leaned close, kissed me by the ear, then grabbed her purse and left. Her thin dress barely covered anything every time she bent over. It gave a little show. I'd brought it up more than once, but it always led to an argument. Jessica would say only weak men cared about what their women wore. Real men, she said, just knew how to protect them. But how was I supposed to protect her? Every time she went out with those sketchy friends, she said they didn't know me and it'd be awkward to bring me along. This time, I didn't say a word. When Jessica got to the door, she hesitated, turned around, and asked, "Babe, why aren't you stopping me?" "Come on, it's my birthday. I can't just ditch them. I promise I'll start seeing them less." I didn't say anything, just gave a half-hearted smile. She didn't know this wasn't just the one time I stopped caring. I wouldn't care anymore, ever again. Jessica and I used to have beautiful memories. Back when I was grinding through my internship, working non-stop, often forgetting to eat, she'd bring me lunchboxes she said she made herself. She'd sit and watch me eat with a smile, then drag me off to buy her favorite ice cream. Those hot summer nights were so stuffy she'd get tired after walking just a little and ask me to carry her. Jessica always smelled sweet and was light as a feather. We'd walk across the street to get her beloved Haagen-Dazs, then head back to the office and drive home. I love that simple kind of happiness. But Jessica had complained so many times, said I was boring, didn't know how to make a girl happy. To please her, I often searched dating tips online, racking my brain to plan dates. Looking back now, the whole internet teaches men how to love their girlfriends, but no one ever teaches women how to love their boyfriends. Eventually, I noticed how close she was to her childhood friend Jason. I brought it up a few times. At first, she explained patiently. But over time, she got irritated and said it was normal guy-girl friendship. Said Jason was her best guy friend, that their relationship was purely platonic. After many arguments, I chose to end things peacefully. 3 years later, I ran into Jessica again at work. She was working on the client side, and not only helped boost my numbers, but also kept bringing up old times, showing up with lunches, reminding me to eat. Right in front of everyone at the office, she confessed her feelings, said she regretted losing me, had stayed single all these years waiting for me. Her words felt so sincere, and with everyone cheering us on, I got drunk and got back together with her. Everyone said Jessica truly loved me, that a woman like her was rare and I should cherish her. But if she really loved me, why would things always be so messy with other men? That night, I must have had too much to drink to believe a leopard could change its spots. I lit a cigarette, got changed, and headed out. At 7 or 8 in the evening, the streets of S-City were all neon lights and flirty laughter. I bought some beer and skewers, sat by the roadside, and watched the world go by. I even booked a movie I'd always wanted to see. We were supposed to see it together when it first released, but now it was about to leave theaters, and Jessica still hadn't made time. She had too many friends. Every time I asked for a little of her time, she'd firmly turn me down. I already made plans with them. I'm not ditching my friends just because you asked. But now, I was finally okay with that. No, Jessica. No nagging in my ear, just me. fully focused on the movie. When it ended, I turned and saw a couple kissing passionately on the platform in the square. A crowd below hooted and cheered them on. When they finally stopped, the guy turned around, wiped his lips with a smirk, and said, "Who said I didn't have the guts to play?" Got my kiss. Let's go finish the game. It was Jason. I froze. The woman flushed in his arms. Of course it was Jessica. She spotted me through the crowd and broke free to run toward me. But I didn't wait for her. By the time she rushed home, I'd nearly finished packing. I'd been thinking about breaking up for a while. I was just waiting for a moment that would completely kill any hope. And that moment had come. She panicked, rushed up, and tried to hug me. "Luke, what are you doing?" "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I was just drunk. It was a dare." They told me to kiss Jason outside. I thought it might be the last time I'd see him, so I didn't say no. But I swear I'll never do it again. She reached for my suitcase, trying to pull it from my hands, but I dodged. What's the point of saying all this? If there was really nothing between them, why would their friends cheer them on to kiss? The Millers and the Smiths were the richest families in their social circle. If there weren't signs, would anyone have dared push them together? I wanted a peaceful breakup, but hearing that, I couldn't help but let out a cold laugh. See? She knew exactly why I was leaving. She knew where she went wrong. But before, she'd stood her ground, making excuses. When you say sorry, are you apologizing for betraying my trust or for letting me see it happen? Jessica froze, clearly hurt. Her long lashes trembled and tears welled up in her eyes. When I didn't comfort her like I used to, she hesitated, then lowered her voice to apologize, said it was just a misunderstanding. She didn't expect Jason to suddenly kiss her. I never believed her. Not then, not now. Especially when her phone lit up on the table, showing Jason still pinned as her top contact. I had asked her to remove him. She said she did. Clearly, another lie. So he actually got mad just because I kissed you during a dare? No money, no charm. Why are you even into a guy like that? He's fun for a fling, but don't take it seriously. Jessica saw it too. She awkwardly flipped her phone face down, then leaned in close, reaching out to hug me like she used to when acting cute. But the moment she got near, I caught a whiff under the perfume was cigarette smoke. I didn't know if she'd been secretly smoking again, or if it was Jason's scent. Either way, made me sick. A chronic liar who never keeps her word. Jessica froze when she saw the cold look in my eyes, then nervously rubbed against me. Babe, I'm a little drunk tonight. Let's just sleep on it and talk tomorrow, okay? You always said couples fight, but make up by bedtime. Let's just do that tonight, please. I started to reflect. Maybe it was my constant compromises that made her think she could just brush things under the rug. But there are so many women in this world. What made her think I couldn't live without her? So I smiled. Do everything my way? Fine, let's break up. Jessica didn't expect that. She blinked, caught off guard, then suddenly shoved me onto the couch. Luke, will you cut it out already? I told you Jason's just a childhood friend. We've known each other since elementary school. I can't just ignore him because I'm dating someone. Fine, if you want to leave, return all the gifts I gave you. Jessica came from a well-off family. She always looked down on my clothes, said I embarrassed her. So she gave me designer watches, suits, and demanded I dress according to her taste. I'd stuffed all of it in the guest room, didn't take a single thing. Before I left, Jessica's eyes were red, and even her proud back slumped. She said, Luke, I agree you need time to cool off, but I absolutely don't agree to breaking up. I ignored her and blocked her right after walking out, but Jessica wasn't giving up. She kept showing up at my office. After all, she was the client. My coworkers gave her face some, even praised her as a good woman, and told me I was being ungrateful. Jessica always acted bashful in front of them. No matter how many times I warned her, she treated it like background noise. After the first couple of times, I stopped holding back. I shot back right in front of everyone. Yeah, I drink, I smoke, I kiss other guys behind my boyfriend's back, but hey, I'm still a great woman. Right, Jessica? Her face turned ghost white. Furious, she cursed me out, but I ignored her. The next day, I applied to have a different contact on her project. No matter how many messages she sent after that, I never replied until Jason showed up in person. Funny, really. Ever since we broke up, Jessica had been posting all these vague, emotional rants, online sad songs, emo captions, painting herself as the heartbroken victim. It worked. Jason came running to defend her, acting like I was some villain. Right after I accepted his friend request, he sent a whole essay full of smug superiority. Luke, who do you think you are? You're just some poor kid from an average family. If Jessica didn't like you, none of us would have given you the time of day. You and us are from different worlds. How can you blame Jessica for not including you? Let me spell it out. We told her not to bring you around. What? You thought dating her would let you climb the social ladder? I didn't reply. Just took a screenshot and sent it to Jessica with a note. Control your damn dog. Jessica called right away. I didn't answer, so she kept calling. That's when I regretted not blocking her number, along with her on WeChat. But Jessica was nothing if not stubborn. When I blocked one number, she just borrowed someone else's phone and called again. When I finally picked up, she started firing off like a machine gun. Luke, you finally answered! I've been thinking a lot these days. I really do love you. I'll pull away from that circle for you. Let's get back together, okay? You still care about me too, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be so bothered by Jason's words. Please, give me another chance. I took a deep breath, stunned by her overwhelming confidence. After a moment of silence, I asked, You saw what Jason said. Doesn't that bother you at all? He's just a friend who couldn't stand seeing me upset. I'll introduce you two someday, so you can clear up your misunderstandings. I said nothing. I was honestly impressed by how Jessica's brain worked. Why did she think Jason and I could just shake hands and make up? And if introducing us could solve it, why didn't she do that from the start? She was just lying to herself. I gave a dry laugh and said slowly, Jessica, do you want to marry me? There was silence on the other end. I didn't push her, just waited. Maybe she never realized that what made me finally give up wasn't just her thing with Jason. It was something bigger. We came from different worlds. We were never compatible. And I had always dated with marriage in mind. Jessica seemed to have made a tough decision before she finally let out a soft sigh. Luke, I really do love you, and I do want to marry you. But you know my family would never approve. I nodded, suppressing the irritation and ache in my chest. Then I sneered. Exactly that's the problem. So, stop bothering me! After cutting ties with Jessica for good, I set up a whitelist on my phone. Any unknown number went straight to voicemail. Then I got laid off. That's when I found out Jason had pressured my company using his family's influence to punish me for hurting Jessica. On my last day, my boss took me out for drinks. Luke, I really believed in you. I was planning to promote you next year. Never expected this mess. Looks like it's hard for you to stay in S-City. Since we're from the same hometown, I'll connect you with someone, see if they can help you back home. I'd had enough of the 996 grind in the big city. Got an N+3 severance package. Cracked a bitter joke about how at least my hair would survive. Packed up and bought a train ticket back home. But then Jessica showed up at the damn train station. Don't know where she learned it, but she brought a loudspeaker and started confessing her love right there. I was just stepping into the station hall when I heard the voice blaring outside. Luke, I love you. I really, truly love you. Please don't run away. Don't go, okay? Stay. I'm willing to give up everything for you. Status, money, none of it matters. Just come out. If you take one step toward me, I'll take the other 99. I brought my ID and household registry. Let's get married today. What the hell is this supposed to be touching or just cringe? For a second, I really wanted to storm out and tell her there's no such thing as a do-over in life. Even if she wanted to marry me now, I didn't want her anymore. But I held back. With Jessica's obsessive personality, showing up would have only caused more problems. I grabbed my suitcase and walked faster. Thank God train stations now just scan IDs. No need to deal with judgmental looks from the ticket agent. I didn't expect Jessica's dramatic scene at the station to get caught on video. Her good looks helped it go viral online overnight. She jumped on the momentum, started an account, and began posting daily videos about her tragic love story with her ex. As more and more photos of us surfaced, life back in my hometown got harder. Random kids would stop me in the street, asking if I was the infamous ex-boyfriend the whole internet was looking for. So I gave them a little performance. Yeah, it's me. She only dated me because her childhood friend needed a kidney transplant, and she thought I'd be the donor. When I refused, I ran back home from S City. Take my advice. Stay far away from anyone named Miller or Smith. They'll ruin your life. What if she thinks you're a match and decides to take your kidney next? Fight rumor with rumor. Eventually, the comments on Jessica's posts got weirder, and she started posting less. Meanwhile, thanks to my old boss, I got introduced to some local connections and landed a solid paying job. Then, at a class reunion, I ran into my first love. The whole class had pretty much drifted apart, but one childhood friend insisted on getting everyone together now that I was back, including Jennifer. Back in school, we all wore the same uniforms, but she always looked just a bit prettier than the rest. Her smile had the cutest dimples, and she had the kindest personality. I was a bit of a troublemaker back then, always teasing her on purpose. She'd glare at me and threaten never to talk to me again, but she always did. When high school got tough, Jennifer was the only light in my heart. Just thinking about her helped me hang in there. I once dreamed of going to the same college as Jennifer, but she changed her major and stayed local, and we slowly lost touch. That high school crush had been sweet and innocent. Back then, I didn't even dream of having her for myself. She was the school goddess. Everyone liked her. To us, she was the moon in the sky. We couldn't touch her, but just seeing her made us happy. But now, at the reunion, when everyone teased her, Jennifer's eyes quietly reddened. Jennifer, we could never get you to come out before. How come you showed up just because Luke's back? So our school beauty's a teacher now, huh? Still the goddess. Wonder which lucky guy gets to marry her. Back in school, she sat right behind Luke and even tutored him one-on-one. But didn't Luke have a girlfriend back then? I shook my head and cracked open a beer for him. What nonsense are you spouting? I've been single for a while now. Jennifer's eyes lit up instantly. She glanced at me, then at the others. Later, when I got up to use the restroom, she stopped me in the hallway. I'm serious too, Luke. They weren't wrong. I did like you in high school. I froze, not sure if I was more surprised by her feelings or by how directly she confessed. I blurted out without thinking, and now? Now too. Jennifer looked up at me, her fair cheeks glowing under the hallway lights. Her almond eyes shimmered with warmth. That night, despite our friends howling in disbelief, we got together. I never imagined Jessica was so obsessed that she'd actually follow me from S City. Holding our couple photos, she went around claiming I'd moved on too fast and calling Jennifer the homewrecker who ruined us. Her deranged fans started attacking us online, even sending letters to Jennifer's school, demanding she be fired for improper conduct. Rumors cut deep, especially in careers where reputation matters. I couldn't take it anymore and fought back. I compiled a full PPT laying everything out for the gossip crowd to feast on. From her overly friendly behavior with Jason while we were still dating, to their dare kiss in the plaza, to Jason mocking me and getting me fired, I included it all. As for Jessica claiming I used her money to support a mistress, I posted detailed transaction records. Sure, she spent money on me, but I spent even more on her. Every gift she gave me, I returned. I had nothing to be ashamed of in that relationship. She, on the other hand, would trash the gifts I gave her behind my back while constantly hinting for more. She claimed money couldn't prove love, but if I didn't give her any, it meant I didn't love her. Meanwhile, Jason, hiding behind his guy bestie label, undermined me while showering Jessica with gifts, preaching that true friends loved her most. Jessica got completely brainwashed. She was convinced I just wasn't doing enough. During our relationship, aside from rent, I spent most of my money on her, barely affording to eat properly myself. But she took it all for granted. Now that we'd broken up and she realized what she'd lost, she tried to use public opinion to force me back. I don't know whose terrible idea that was, but there's no way I'm crawling back. The internet turned on her fast. People dug up her and Jason's identities, and even their family stocks took a hit. Jessica, cornered, posted a tearful apology video. Over and over, she said sorry, claimed she didn't know she'd caused me so much trouble. Didn't realize Jason had insulted me. Said it was all because she loved me too much and couldn't accept losing me. But netizens aren't fools. Under the new apology video, every comment tagged Jason. Oh wow, what love. Love so deep you kissed at Smith's golden boy behind your man's back. Poor boys aren't allowed to date, huh? Can't complain when your girlfriend's playing dares with at Smith either. Just for fun, right? So why can't Jessica let it go? Can't handle the game now, huh? Comments like that poured in, forcing Jason to issue an apology, too. His face was bruised, probably got scolded or even hit it home. Times had changed. The public actually had some power over the elite now. Jason's biggest mistake was raking in money from the common folk while mocking them behind their backs. Ironically, the whole mess ended up boosting my follower count online. The online attacks deeply hurt Jennifer, especially with how her school reacted. She quit her job and started trying her hand at social media. Unlike Jessica's sob story act, Jennifer kept things simple, just recording little vlogs of us as a couple. Sometimes we'd be grocery shopping hand in hand. Sometimes it was her cooking and sitting beside me to make sure I finished every bite. Her clean, fresh style surprisingly drew in quite a few fans. One day, Jennifer pulled me into doing a quick cue, a video, and she deliberately brought up a comment from Jessica. "I used to make you lunches like that every day, Luke, don't you remember? You two keep replaying our past. Aren't you just missing me in disguise?" What a buzzkill. I was speechless and quickly explained, "That's not true. I always knew Jessica didn't cook. She'd just fake it with takeout and pass it off as homemade. Who makes steamed egg in a plastic takeout box? I just pretended not to notice back then. And don't get me started on everything else. I've always been a boring guy, what some girls would call dull or unromantic. My idea of a date? Eating, watching a movie, grocery shopping, just having you in my everyday routine is already perfect to me." But after the video went live, Jessica didn't stop. She kept comparing herself to Jennifer, from makeup to mannerisms, as if trying to prove Jennifer was just her stand-in. So Jennifer took me on a little nostalgia trip. She put on her old school uniform and went back with me to our high school. In the video, she sat at a desk, turned to look at me, and said, "I fell for you 3 times once in high school, once now, and once for every day in the future." Jessica finally deleted her account and stopped commenting, especially after netizens found out Jennifer had been single all these years. She was clean, beautiful, and a completely different kind of person. That video ended with me pulling out a ring and kneeling down. "Miss Jennifer, will you marry me? The diamond might be small now, but I promise to give you all my love." The engagement went smoothly. Both sets of parents met and were very pleased. Jennifer's parents were teachers, strict but warm, and my parents were government employees. We weren't rich, but we lived comfortably. No one expected that our elegant engagement party would be disrupted by a fleet of Bentleys. Jason barged into the hotel with Jessica in tow. He was clearly used to getting his way. When the staff tried to stop him, he just tossed a wad of cash in their faces. "What rules? You just want more money, right? Is this enough? Now get lost!" Jessica ignored the commotion, her eyes locked on me, slowly walking forward. They'd clearly planned it all out. Jessica was even wearing a wedding dress more extravagant than the one Jennifer had on. I couldn't help but laugh in disbelief, and instinctively stepped in front of Jennifer, shielding her. I spoke coldly. "This is my engagement party. If you're done with the drama, get out." Jessica's tears fell instantly, leaving 2 white streaks down her perfectly made-up face. But she didn't seem to notice. She held out a hand and said, "I know, Luke. I came to crash your engagement. It's okay if you only see me as her substitute, I don't mind. I'll do anything for you. Just come with me. I can't live without you. Luke, I'm pregnant with your child." The room fell into chaos. Even Jason, who'd been messing around with staff at the back, looked stunned. No one expected her to pull that card. I felt Jennifer tense up behind me, her grip on my hand tightening. I looked at her, then turned back to Jessica with a cold smile. "Jessica, do you think I'm an idiot? I've wanted to break up with you for a long time. We haven't slept together in ages. Even going further back, the timeline doesn't add up, does it? If you're really going to lie, I'll drag you to the hospital for a DNA test right now. Miss Jessica, the only woman in my heart is my fiancé." Jessica's face crumbled. She looked like she might faint, biting her lips so hard it bled. Even sitting on the floor, she looked up at me with bitter resentment. "You say she's the only one in your heart, then what am I? What about all the beautiful memories we shared?" I pulled Jennifer closer, not even glancing at Jessica. Didn't young Master Jason say it himself? Just for fun. Why are you taking it seriously? If you really want to define our relationship, just like Jason, a friend you can kiss. Jessica seemed deaf to everything. Laughing and crying all at once, she crawled toward me desperately, tripping over her long dress, reaching out to grab my pant leg. Don't go. Even if we're just friends, Luke, don't go. I turned to look at the furious Jason and just found it funny. He wasn't stopping Jessica's madness, but he was angry at me. A long time ago, they told me that if they were going to be together, there'd be no room for me. Well, now I'm out of the picture, so why aren't they together? I pulled my leg free and gave one final reply. Jessica, I did love you once, but that ended a long time ago. It ended the moment you kept choosing bars and shady friends over me. I held Jennifer's hand and walked away, never looking back, ignoring the chaos behind us. I only found out later that Jennifer had asked her cousin to film the whole engagement party, planning to edit it and post it online to share the joy. But Jessica's outrageous stunt pissed her cousin off so much, he uploaded the raw footage instead. It went viral almost immediately. The Miller and Smith families found themselves under fire again, their heirs thrown into public scrutiny. To minimize damage, the Smiths brought back an illegitimate son and announced him as the new heir. The Millers acted even faster. Since Jessica really was pregnant, they forced her to marry Jason and launched a wave of PR campaigns. Unfortunately, the public wasn't buying it. What should have been a private matter turned into a public disaster, thanks to the Millers' arrogant tone. Their damage control only made things worse, and people started boycotting them altogether. The next time I saw news about the two of them, it was on a legal program. Jason had beaten Jessica to death during a domestic dispute. They were both spoiled brats who grew up entitled, but their tempers were even worse than their upbringing. Jessica had really been pregnant, but not with my child. After our breakup, devastated, she went drinking with Jason, and one thing led to another. Jessica thought she'd slept with me that night. Jason, wanting to save face, never corrected her. When she showed up at my engagement party and announced the pregnancy, he could no longer hide the truth. He always assumed they'd marry eventually, so he didn't mind if they fooled around in the meantime. But Jessica had fallen in love with me for real. That's when Jason started getting jealous, bad-mouthing me under the guise of being a best friend, then taking advantage of Jessica himself. When Jessica found out who the real father was, she completely broke down, saying she wanted to sue Jason. But to her shock, her own family turned against her, forcing her into marriage. The Smiths weren't about to let an heir be born out of wedlock, so the two of them were quickly made to register their marriage, reluctantly bound together. Jessica blamed Jason for ruining her relationship, and Jason resented Jessica for not knowing her place. It didn't take long for their marriage to collapse. After one drunken night, a vicious fight broke out, and Jason beat Jessica so badly she lost the baby. By the time he sobered up and got her to the hospital, it was too late. The child was gone, and so was Jessica. Jason was arrested. When he got out, the Smith family no longer had a place for him. He ended up becoming what he'd always looked down on, just another ordinary nobody. The Miller and Smith families were done for. Scandal after scandal crashed their stock prices to near rock bottom. In the end, it was the Smiths' illegitimate son who turned things around by reaching out to us with a proposal. To make the deal happen, he offered an incredibly generous price. He even helped me climb the corporate ladder, securing me 3 promotions in a row. My salary tripled. With the money from the Smiths, I opened a studio in my hometown. Jennifer ran the place. She spent most of her time there, working and filming videos. A few years later, our company expanded again and again. We became a household name. Everyone knew us as the power couple in town. When I returned to my alma mater as an honored alumnus to give a speech, Jennifer leaned on my shoulder and whispered, "Back then, I was standing under the cherry blossoms, thinking if you turned around, I'd confess my feelings. But luckily, people meant to be together never missed their chance. Luke, I have good news. You're going to be a dad." Spring was coming again, and our happiness kept blooming. Jessica's side story. The first time I saw Luke, I fell for him. There was something about him, something this entire circle of ours lacked. That rare quality made me chase him. I even tried to learn how to cook for him, of course. I failed. So later, I usually had the maid prepare meals or ordered takeout and pretended I made it myself. Only later did I realize Luke had always known. He just never called me out. But I lost someone as good as Luke. I gradually forgot why I liked him in the first place, only focused on comparing him with others in my circle. I thought he wasn't as rich or as interesting as my friends. By the time he was ready to leave, I finally understood, but it was too late. Luke left with absolute determination. No matter how I screamed and cried, he never looked back at me. I stared at the emptiness of my home, a chill creeping in. Jason kept messaging me to comfort me. I snapped at him, told him to leave me alone. But he just asked, "Are you really going to throw away years of friendship for some guy?" That made me hesitate. I even asked him for advice. Jason was a seasoned player. I knew we'd end up married someday, but I never truly liked him. Because once you've known the kind of love Luke gave wholehearted, unwavering, how can you settle for being one of many? Still, I have to admit, back then I enjoyed being adored by two men. To win Luke back, I tried everything. I copied scenes from dramas shouting at the train station, creating a social media account to document our story, even considered cutting ties with Jason. Everything I said to Luke, I meant it. If he had just come back, I really would have left that circle. I'd have stayed away from Jason and his friends, dedicated myself only to Luke. I believed in his determination. I knew he could fight for a future for us. For that future, I was willing to give up my pride. Again and again, I tried to get close to him, even crashing his engagement. That wedding dress? I picked it out myself. Poured every one of my fantasies about marriage into it, and that very day it all got torn to shreds. The baby inside me turned out to be Jason's. I hated him for betraying my trust. I hated myself even more for ignoring Luke's warnings, for being blind. When I found out I was pregnant, I was overjoyed. Now, that joy had turned to despair. I thought this child would be the bridge to bring us back together, but it was only the fruit of my own judgment day. No matter how much I resisted, the Miller family abandoned me. In this world, every privilege comes with a price. Arranged marriages for leverage, for the next power move. And now that I was pregnant, my value had dropped. Jason went out chasing other women. I didn't care. But what I couldn't accept was being locked away in the Smith family home, not even allowed a glimpse of Luke from afar. I laughed and cried, unable to accept this life. I screamed at the always drunk Jason, "If not for you, if only I'd had the courage to block you back then and leave this damn circle once and for all. Luke would have married me. I'd be the one standing beside him now, smiling with happiness." Jason seemed genuinely pissed by my words. Just before I blacked out, I saw a clip from their interview on my phone. Jennifer was leaning into Luke's chest, glowing like she was made of light. That happiness, it could have been mine. It should have been mine. I shut my eyes, burning with hatred. If there's a next life, I just hope I get to meet him one more time.